Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
The secret to building discipline and willpower in your life. And this is going to be a very short video because the answer to this is very simple. The secret to building discipline, willpower, is every single day, listen to me now, every single day you got to do something that sucks. That's it. Do something that sucks every single day. Do something that's hard, that's difficult, that's uncomfortable, that you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyways. That's how you build and cultivate the muscle, because that's what it is, the muscle of discipline and willpower. It's something that you build over time. It's something that you challenge yourself, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger the more that you push yourself to do things that suck. Now, the king of this is doing a cold shower. Okay, cold shower. It's one of my favorite things I do in the morning. Very simple, doesn't have to be scary or that difficult. You take your warm shower. At the end of the shower, you turn the faucet on cold and you let it run cold for 30 seconds. You count to 30 and then you turn it off and you go about your day. That simple act right there, doing something that's uncomfortable, that sucks. You know, nobody that I know of enjoys taking a cold shower. There's a lot of great health benefits to it, but for the most part, it's doing something uncomfortable. That one act will build discipline and willpower and transfer to other aspects of your life. Now, maybe for you, it's making your bed first thing in the morning. That simple act, it symbolizes something for your life, and it's building that habit of discipline and willpower. Maybe for you, it's going to the gym. Maybe it's eating healthier. Maybe it's meditation, something that so many people are afraid to indulge in because they get bored. But by training yourself just to sit in silence, without any distractions, without the TV, without social media, just being silent and focus on your breath for 10 minutes, and disciplining yourself to do that, even if you don't want to do it, that's the point. That's why you got to do it, is to build that discipline and that willpower. Maybe it's waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, setting the alarm clock. You don't feel like waking up, but you do. The more that you do things that are difficult in your life, that are challenging, that suck, that you don't feel like doing, the more that you build the muscle of discipline, the more that you build your willpower, the more you are disciplined in other aspects of your life, and it transfers to everything else for you. So that's the secret. Do something every day that sucks. I want to know what that one thing is. Leave a comment below to stick one thing for now. One thing, leave a comment, let me know what that is, and start doing that every single day. And I can promise you, your life will get better.
I used to say one man built his house on sand and the other man built it on the rock, but I overlooked the fact that the guy who built on the rock did not build on the rock because the rock was there. He built on the rock because he dug to the rock. When we are doers of the word, we will dig for the rock. If you are hearers of the word, you go for the promise without the preparation. But in being a doer of the word, you will prep for the promise because you know the promise is shata. You know the promise is big enough that it justifies preparation so that when it does appear, it will not disappear. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Yeah. Somebody in here understands what I'm talking about. Look at somebody say, I'm working on something. I know it doesn't look like I'm working on something because you don't see no bricks and you don't see no fancy doors yet. You don't see no gables yet, but I'm working on something. I know it looks like I got a big old hole in my yard, but I'm working on something. I know I don't have shrubs like he got. I don't have roses like she has. I don't have stone walls like he had. That's all right. I'm looking shabby, but I'm working on something. When I get through digging down to this rock, as soon as I hit her, God is saying it is worth it to hit the rock. It is worth it to look bad for a little while and come up looking good for a lifetime than to look good for a minute. I need some slow-cooked people in this room. I need some people that's been through hell and back. I need some people that's been dug down to the rock and said, having done all to stand, I'm going to stand anyway. Oh, if you got a rock in you, give the Lord a praise right now.
If you want to be able to get your arms around a big organization that produces, you got to develop the skills. You've got to put yourself through the early disciplines. But now here's what's exciting about the disciplines. One of my key phrases for the whole day. Disciplines work miracles. Disciplines work miracles. And here's the first piece that works miracles. Number one, do what you can. Do not let neglect grab you by the throat. Don't let neglect stall you on your path toward prosperity and health, being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. If you can take one step, take one step. Do not neglect to do whatever you can do at the moment. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't either 10 years ago. Mark couldn't either 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, today he can do it because step by step, year by year, he took on what he could do. He didn't neglect it. He did the meetings he could do. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the classes he could take. And step by step, he got himself ready. I'm telling you, do not neglect to do whatever you can do because it'll work miracles. Of personal development first, productivity second. Now, do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. Hopefully you picked that up, especially from the president's team. That's how they got here with diamonds in their pins. They not only did what they could, they did the best they could. They've done the best they could. They've been able to do, and I'm telling you, that's why Herbalife has got this incredible reputation. They've picked up Mark's challenge that said, let us grow. Let us start with easy steps first. Let's do what we can first. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 100 feet, how can you see another 100 feet? Answer, walk the first 100 feet. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. And walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. So what you've picked up here, just do it as far as you can see it. And I promise you, if you'll execute as far as you can see it, you'll be able to see more. Do that, then you can see more. And finally, get in tune of doing the best you can. And you'll have the activity that'll develop the disciplines that will set this sail so that you can say it doesn't matter how the wind blows. I'm prepared. The disciplines that work miracles, here's the real miracle that works so well in Herbalife. Investing life, one person's life invested in another. I'm telling you, you cannot have the potential for miracle with any simpler formula than that. Somebody who developed a testimonial and now invests that testimonial in someone else's attention, someone else's mind, gets them to think about it, gets them to respond to it. Now we've got the miracle called a new customer. Investing the opportunity, idea, and someone telling them the Herbalife opportunity, now we've got a new distributor. Disciplines create new life by investing one person's life into another person's life. That's why I came by today. Mark Hughes invited me to come along on this journey to let me do something so grand and so powerful. I would not have missed this opportunity to invest a piece of my life into this many lives here today. I'm telling you, it's going to work miracles. And I'm asking you at home, because our whole life is not only concerned with our business and our customers and our distributors and our organization, all of the things that we're proud of and the banners and the flags and all the rest of it. One of the most important is to become valuable by discipline to your family. No greater place can you invest life into life than to invest in your family. Don't give your distributors the best of your attention and your family the least of your attention. Don't be careful with your distributors and careless with your family. Be just as careful with a child as you are with a distributor, because sometimes we think about volume and we think about money and we think about income, so we're very careful. But sometimes the people around us who need this investment the most to create new life, sometimes we're a little careless about investing life into life when it seems like it's so close and it's so familiar. We don't take the time to study ways and means for the language and the skills to invest life into life concerning our family. Don't be short here.
We got to remember the most important person to influence is ourselves. If we can do that, then we can contribute to others in ways that give our life a sense of meaning and purpose. I really want you to get that in the end, the meaning in life comes from contribution, from knowing that you're doing something you believe in and that makes a difference. You've got to know your outcome. The more clear you are on what you want, the more you empower your brain to come up with answers. Clarity is power. You must get focused on what you want so that you have something that's the driving force behind your behavior. When you know your outcome, you've empowered yourself.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears. And I think the majority of people actually are not living their dreams, but are living their fears. So I want to ask you a question. What are your fears? We all have something that's blocking us, that's holding us back. And as we begin to look at life, what we realize is that the reason that most people are not living out their true potential, are not doing all of the things that they would really like to do, is because
section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
And the reason why God allows me to do it is because he knows when I do it and I'm number one, he gonna be glorified. Some of you gonna embrace it, some of you gonna play with it. I'm hoping you gonna embrace that. So y'all got a responsibility, look, y'all, to much is given. To much is given, much is required. Which means what? That means if I go to an elementary school, the kids still gotta get ET. I went to one little school, they was like, are you gonna be loud like that? I was like, absolutely, I'm coming hard. They was like, you gonna be yelling at us? Absolutely, I'm gonna be yelling at you. Why? Because statistics show if you in the hood and you can't read by the third grade, you going to jail. So that's why I'm coming hard. Because you don't realize if you can't read at the third grade level, by the time you get to the third grade, the probability of you going to jail is 3 times higher than anybody else. I gotta get in your face because I gotta make sure you learn how to read. This is a divine appointment. Y'all got work to do and can't nobody slack this year. Too much is given, much is required. Too much is given, much is required, but don't worry about it. Because if you do what's required, you're gonna get the reward that comes with it. I got the reward now. A lot of folks ain't willing to do what I was willing to do. They want to blow up and they want to show their car. Go back and watch all my videos. You don't see no watches. And the reason why I don't wear Rolex, not because I can't afford it. I don't want nobody to give Rolex the credit. The reason why I wear a gold chain, I can wear a gold chain. I can drive a Bentley. I live in San Diego. I can show you my house. The reason why I don't show you my house, because I don't want the house to get the glory for what God has done. To much is given, much is required. So it's not that I don't have stuff, I just don't show my stuff because I don't want my stuff to get the credit. Where much is given, much is required. God is going to do some special things through y'all. But you can't do what they do. I'm going to say it because I know y'all on the internet, y'all watching them when you should be letting them watch. I'm going to say it one more time. I want to make sure I'm clear. You watching what they doing and they should be watching what you doing. The reason why I don't do this and the reason why I show up for my kids, the reason why I try to show up for my wife, the reason why I try to show up for my church, because when young people watch me, I want them to go to God. I don't want them to go to the dealership. So I don't go on the internet and do what they do. Hey, E.T., you can do this on the internet. E.T., you number one. Why you ain't doing that? I'm not doing that because I don't get on the internet to follow them. I get on the internet for them to follow me. I don't get on the internet to be influenced by them. I get on the internet to influence them. Y'all about to win so you can influence them, not them influence you. You about to win. Some great stuff about to happen to you, some stuff that you can't understand, some stuff that you can't comprehend. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be blessed. But when you get blessed, you're not supposed to be blessed so you can do what they're doing. You're going to get blessed so they can do what you're doing.
If you've got the desire to win, if you want to be somebody, if you want to make your dreams come true, I don't care if you're 12 years old or 82 years old, your age is irrelevant. It's a form of ageism to tell a young person, just be patient. If you're like me, my mom and my dad didn't give me a business. I didn't start on second or third base like some of these people that are telling you somehow to be patient. I had to pick myself up by my bootstraps and make something of my life. And frankly, the sooner you get going, the sooner you start working on yourself, the sooner you make progress, the sooner you're going to get there and enjoy your life. And so don't listen to that crap. Think about this. When I was in my 20s, I made 6 figures early in my 20s. By the time I was 30, I was making 7 figures. By the time I was 40, I was earning an 8-figure income. What if somebody had told me, cool it, be patient, don't worry about it? My entire life would be different. I wouldn't be looking at the ocean, living oceanfront now, or flying on my jet, or taking care of my parents, or having multiple homes, living on the lake, having multiple boats, multiple cars, whatever the material things are, donating to the charities that I want. And I listen to that absurd, ridiculous, stupid advice. So please don't listen to those people who tell you that. They have good intentions. They're talking about not putting pressure on yourself. You've got all kinds of time. The truth is, a little pressure is probably pretty good for you. Think about this. Steve Jobs was in his 20s and teens when he started. Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, Kylie Jenner. You talk any entrepreneur that's out there today that you know pretty well, most of them started young. Jay-Z started young. LeBron James started young. Why is it that you can't start young? Steve Jobs did, I did, Cuban did, Bill Gates did. There's thousands of entrepreneurs. In fact, the list of billionaires in the country gets younger every single year, as do the millionaires. You want to know why? Because of these things right here. Technology, your phone, your iPad, social media allows people at any age to win, including preteen and teenagers. And so please, parents, don't hold your kids back if they want to grow. Now that we can get rid of that myth, what should I be working on? Well, the first thing is this. I think you need to start to read books on persuasion and influence. And when you're watching social media or YouTube or listening to audio, somebody like myself, study their style, study how they roll their words out, their vocabulary. Begin to model them and then modify to your style. Model and modify. Model people and then modify. It's going to be your ability to persuade people, to influence people, to cast a vision, to transfer energy at any age of your life that's going to determine how far you go. So start to study the great communicators. That's number one. Begin at any age to have your children, or if you're one of those kids listening to this, young people, begin the process of setting goals early. Right now, begin to set goals and achieve them. Write down your outcomes, right? Third, begin to work on personal development. Read some books. Read Max Out Your Life, my book. Go to maxoutbook.com. Read that book. There are other great books out there by many people that you can begin to read around your school books or in the summertime on personal development, on personal growth, on influence, on persuasion, on leadership. Begin to feed yourself these great books, these great thoughts.
Just like the seasons, there are 4 of them. Fall, winter, spring, and summer. They always change and they have a purpose connected to it. But you as an individual, do you have that idea of changing the way you think? Do you have the ability to change your life? Look around you. Pay attention to the circumstance that we're in. It's more about sorrow than happiness. People only want to find a way to make more excuses than trying to make a change in their lives. Like I said, like the seasons, they're always changing. And they're going to continue to do exactly what they do. You know, when the winter comes, it's going to be cold. When the fall comes, it's going to be crisp. When the spring comes, it's going to be, it's chilly, but it's not too warm. And boy, when that summer comes, it's really hot. But it goes right back to doing exactly what it's been doing. But you, my friend, you got to do some things that's a little bit different, a little bit special, a little bit more unique, a little bit different, and stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got everything you need inside of you right now. Continue to make the most of your life and hold on to it with everything you got because it belongs to you. The time is now. Make the most of your life. Be productive in your life. Stand strong in your life. Change your life. Evolve your life. And continue to push forward. Because every day is a new day. And as long as you stand on it, as long as you believe in it, be the best that you could be within yourself. Change your ideas. Change your thought process. Have the right attitude to carry on. Don't be weak. Be strong. Carry on from my heart. Conduct your business.
How to be mentally tough, who was able to look at it and say, no, I'm good enough to learn here. I'm good enough to try some new shit. And that is the mark of a true champion. It's humility, true humility. You know, people think humility is, you know, I don't brag about my success. No, dude, you guys got it all wrong. Humility is the skill of understanding that you can always improve. You can always get better. And you're no better than the work you do. So, I mean, dude, that's something most people just won't do.
All I ever knew was effort will get me seen on tape. Effort will get me noticed to get to the league. Effort would one day take care of my mom and my kids. Effort, which is between you and you. Nobody else can give you effort. Effort is with inside, man. And I'm still grinding because the next kid is talking about he getting too old. Keep watching me if I am. Nobody ain't got to convince me of what I do. I do what I do because I do what I do, because I'm built from something.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. You just got to quit tripping while you're in the process, because the process is necessary. You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're going to see exactly why it went that way, and you're going to be okay with it. But quit tripping during the process. Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh, Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Oh, Lord, why he leave me? You ain't the first chick got left. This might not even be your last time getting left. Pull yourself together and quit tripping, because you in the process.
So I ask, what is your wake-up call? What is enslaving you? What is controlling your thoughts? Is it the television set? Feeding your mind images of what life should be? Is it the internet drawing you in and controlling your time? Is it drugs or alcohol numbing your brain and diminishing your desires? Or is it weakness? A lack of discipline that prevents you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish.
Some of you are not where you want to be. You don't have what you want to have. You're not doing what you want to do because you've never been exposed to it before. And that's how my life changed. When I started hanging around millionaires, when I started hanging around successful business owners, when I started hanging around success, it rubbed off on the kid. Are you hearing me? I took those principles and bam, took them to another level. And I'm about to share some principles with you today for real. It's going to take you to a whole nother level. So last week I told you, shut up. Shut up. You talk too much and you never shut up. I told you to talk less and grind more. Are you hearing me? Talk less and grind more.
You know, there are so many people on the planet and they're really operating from the past. And here's what I mean. Something happened to them when they were little kids. They were told not to dream too big. They were told to dress like everyone else. They had a dream and the dream failed. Or maybe you were a teenager and there was someone that you loved and you got rejected. Or maybe you were 22 and you started a business and you failed in that business. And now it's 10 years later or 20 years later or 40 years later, and you're still living in the past.
Average person, you and I have about 75,000 thoughts a day rattling around in this thing we call our brains and our minds. 75,000 of them. The crazy thing is 91% of those thoughts are identical to the previous day and are identical to the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. And then we wonder why our life seems to repeat itself over and over again. So really the difference in our life, if we have 75,000 thoughts a day, here's the crazy thing. 91% of them are exactly the same. The separation in our life is in those 9% of their thoughts, because remember this, these magnets are pretty powerful. That's why I'm always saying that your obsessions become your possessions, because they do. You draw into your life exactly what it is you think about. It's a physical reality that you attract to yourself what you think about. So the difference in our life is 9% of our thoughts. That's why people say all the time the difference between winning and losing is so small, it's almost too scary to talk about. And really, we've identified what it is. It's 9% of what we think about alters the direction of our life. So what I'm here to tell you today is you've got to hone in and get aware of what you think about, and then alter those 9% of the thoughts that are variable on a daily basis to serve you.
These thoughts that we have, we think they're our thoughts, so it makes it really hard to change them. And people meditate and try to not think thoughts. Show me somebody that's done that successfully, consistently. They're full of shit. Right? Everybody, the mind thinks thoughts. But here's the distinction. If I told you 100 years ago we were going to fly to the moon and back, you would have called me a lunatic. That's where the term comes from. And people still use it, and it doesn't make any sense, because a lunatic is somebody who thought we'd go to the moon and back, and we've done it, right?
I didn't know that.
But if I would have told you 100 years ago that there's going to be a box in your pocket, and you're going to pull this thing out, you're going to hit a couple buttons, and then it's going to capture invisible waves that are drifting around the earth and bring the waves in, and you're going to see somebody on the other side of the earth, and you're going to talk to them, you're totally nuts. Thoughts are those invisible waves. And when you use your body in a certain way, if I sit like this, I'm going to tap into a different channel of those waves than if I'm sitting like this. Kind of like a TV set. If I turn one channel, it might be a comedy channel. I'm going to see a lot of laughter. Turn another one, it's a horror channel. Turn another channel, it's a romance channel. This is what changes which of those waves you touch in. So if you can start to realize that your thoughts that you think are your thoughts, there's nothing unique about your thoughts. They've been around for thousands of years. You're just tapping into them because of what you're doing with your body that makes you either fearful or passionate or courageous or whatever you're feeling. As you go in those states, you get different thoughts. So what I want people to see is that learn how to just see those thoughts go by. Learn how to be entertained by those thoughts.
That means when you have opposition, when you have trouble and things come against you, God has a table there. The key is to don't fight with the opposition. Don't live worried, upset, stressed out. No, take a seat at the table God has prepared. If you will stay in rest, then God will go to work. But when you work, God rests. As long as you're uptight, worried, trying to make it happen only in your own strength, it will limit what God will do. The psalmist said, "Be still and know that He is God." Clear out the worry. Clear out the negativity. Live from a place of faith, a place of peace. God has you in the palm of His hand. Nothing you're facing is a surprise to Him. He said to the Israelites, "Stand still and you will see the deliverance of the Lord." He wasn't just talking about physically. He was talking about in their mind.
I was talking to my trainer the other day. We were working out in my backyard, and he was wearing my out, man. And I sat down on the wall, and I said, "Man, I'm struggling today. This is hard." And my trainer's a younger guy. And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Man, this workout is hard." He said, "No, man, this is hard." He said, "How you came from a poor kid in the projects to this house you got in this neighborhood and the TV star," he said, "that's hard." And I had to catch myself, because working out ain't near as hard as the struggle to get where you want. And everybody in this room wants two things. Everybody wants to be successful, and everybody wants to be happy. I'm going to tell you something about that. That happiness and success is available for every last one of you. But I'm going to tell you what you're going to have to do. You're going to change your mindset. If you're planning on being successful, you have to change this here. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is right here. It ain't no difference. It ain't none. I ain't got no more than none of y'all got. God gave me the same thing He gave y'all. God loved me the same as He loved all y'all. He don't love me more than He loved you. But you have got to change your mindset. You got to get funky if you want to be successful. If you think that they're going to mail this money to your house, you're dead wrong about that. If you think they're going to pave the way for you and make it easy, you're dead wrong about that. If you want to be successful, you got to change your mind, and you're going to have some faith.
And grow your wings on the way down.
See, the people that will live their dreams, the 2% that will do that, these are, and write this down, become a risk taker. They're risk takers. They don't mind failing. They don't mind making mistakes. They're willing to take life on, take life in the collar. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I like what Helen Keller said. She said, life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. Here's something else. Write this down. Make it important to become financially independent. You know, people say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. You look at yourselves, make it important that you find some way to use your talents and gifts to generate the income that allow you to control your destiny. I read something that said, either you control your destiny or someone else will.
You have got to make some decisions in your life, but you got to tie it to this gift. Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your God-given gift. He didn't hide it from you. He didn't put it under the rocks. He didn't hide it in the ocean. You don't need no map to find it. God put it right here when he made you. All y'all are gifted at something. The Bible says your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. That's a scripture. That ain't a theory of mine. See, I ain't got but one gift. I have the ability to take information and transpose it into comedy immediately. I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to, it's just what I do.
I dealt with people with multiple personality disorders, 52 different personalities, and how to put them back together. And I dealt with people with no personality who have a much bigger problem. No matter what the diversity of people I've dealt with and the diversity you've seen in this show, the ultimate question I'm always asking is, how do I help people to break through? The question is, what are you breaking through to? In essence, all of us at some level to feel alive have to always feel like we're growing. When people ask me, what does it take to be happy? I always tell them one word, progress. Progress equals happiness. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, if you're on the road, if you're improving, if you're making progress, you're going to love it. You're going to feel alive. On the other hand, it doesn't matter how successful you are. If you stop growing, you start dying inside. Now, how does this relate to this session on breakthrough? Well, I'll say it's really simple. If you and I want to know what it takes to be happy, we have to understand what is our current blueprint of how our life's supposed to be. Now, what do I mean by blueprint? Well, we have a story in our head of how life's supposed to be. Some people's story is you work hard in school, you become really great, you're a nice person, you're a good person, and then you grow up and you take care of yourself and you find the ideal man and you fall in love and you have a white picket fence and you have 3 perfect children and you live happily ever after. Somebody else's story, the old story was you work really hard in school, you excel in college, you go to work for a big corporation, and you move up through the ranks until you're the president or chairman of the company, and you become successful and respected throughout life. These are some old stories. Obviously, the stories that we hear today of what people's lives are supposed to be like are completely diverse. We no longer have these little archetypes, but one archetype still seems to remain. And that archetype is, in order for you to really feel like you're enough, many people believe they have to achieve an enormous amount. They may do it in different ways. They may do it by building a company and taking it public when they're 27 or 25 years old, or they find and create a new technology, or they become a very special doctor. But we live in a culture in the West that teaches people that you're not enough unless you do something really special and unique, and we define special and unique in interesting ways. So you got to make it important to take care of yourself. Put that at the top of the list, because you can't do well and can't do good work if you don't feel good. We don't want to be like the man who said, if I'd known I'd live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself. Here's something else. Repeat after me, please. OQP. Only quality people. Yes, look at your relationships and ask yourself the question, Jim Rohn would ask this question, what is this relationship doing to me? Sidney Poitier wrote a book called The Measure of a Man. I love the tapes because I love his voice. He said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? MIT did a study,
And the study indicated that you earned within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends and associates earn. Who's impacting you? Who's in your ear? What influence do they have on you? Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. So practice the principle of OQP, only quality people. And somebody's saying, Les, can I change them? No, it's a full-time job changing yourself. Some people are so negative, they'll walk into a dark room and begin to develop. My family members and friends call me crazy for going to seminars, spending money on books and tapes and going to seminars. When are you going to stop going? I said, when I die.
See, if you and I from this day forward are going to be happy, just remember what we've said. It takes two things, grow and give. A meaningful life comes from growing, that sense of progress, and it comes from having life not just be about me, but about we, doing something that makes me feel connected to other people besides myself. That growth, that sense of contribution fills a deep spiritual need that we all have. If you are unhappy in your life, you got three choices, really two. Blame, that's not a choice, it's not going to work. Don't blame someone else, don't blame the event, don't blame yourself. Just figure out what you're going to do to change your life. That's my specialty. If you like my coaching or my team's coaching, come visit with us. Come to an event, come get a coach, come through a program, and we'll guide you through it more than just a few minutes like this, and we'll do it directly, in an environment that'll shift you. Or change your blueprint. You're going to have to rewire what's going on inside, and that's what we focus on as well. So I hope this journey has been an interesting one for you. I hope it's opened up your eyes to what it takes to go from where you are to where you want to be. It takes changing your emotional pattern. It takes bringing presence to your life. It takes realizing you have no problems compared to somebody else and putting your life in perspective. It takes the ability to deal with those extreme stresses that happen in your life by questioning your limiting beliefs. And again, we'd love to coach you and show you how to change those in a permanent way where it happens automatically, just like lifting weights so often until the muscle's always there and you find yourself able to follow through. It takes for you to be able to figure out how to deal with crisis and how to turn it around. It takes facing your fear. It takes pushing yourself through what used to stop you. It takes putting yourself in a position where you connect to what's more important than just yourself, what you value than just yourself. And it takes, I think in this case also, the ability to realize that no matter what happens to you, you're more than that moment. You're more than the story you think you're supposed to be. And that even when you're not matching what you think you need to be, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe you're having to find a different part of yourself that's going to fulfill you at a much deeper level. Sometimes failing to get your goal gives you your destiny. I can't tell you how many people I've known over the years who had an idea of what they thought their life was supposed to be like, and they didn't achieve it, and they felt miserable and upset and frustrated, and one day an opening happened and they went, oh my God, thank God that didn't happen. I think it's Garth Brooks had a great song, and it's a song about when he was in high school and he was in love with this girl, infatuated with her, and she didn't even know that he existed. And he prayed to God every day that she would notice him, that she would fall in love with him. And then sure enough, she never did. He was so disappointed. His blueprint didn't match. His life didn't match it because she didn't even know he existed. And he felt this suffering. He could do nothing to turn it around. Well, 15 years later, he became a guy named Garth Brooks, somebody everybody knew, and he could rock, stadiums with his energy and his song and his music. And he goes back to be at his high school reunion. I think it was his 15-year reunion, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the exact year, but all I remember is he said he saw that woman that he was so obsessed by. He was looking forward to seeing her. And now he was Garth Brooks, and he met her. And after he met her and spent some time with her, he wrote a song called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. Sometimes not getting your blueprint's the best thing that ever happened, because the disappointment drives you to find something more important inside of you. Or not getting it makes you look for another aspect of your life, a spiritual aspect, a family aspect, a physical aspect. If you can just trust that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, then you can find in any situation a benefit that can take your life to the next level. I don't care if you're Frank and Kristen. I don't care if you're, Mandy and Scott. I don't care if you're Joaquin and Kim. Every one of us in our life is going to face situations where it feels like we have total trauma, something that's been taken from us. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? Some people just live in their story of what they don't have, and they have the right to do that. If Frank and Kristen lived in pain and felt bad, we'd all say they have the right to do it. It's the difference between what you have the right to do and what you deserve to give yourself and others. We have the ability to transcend whatever happens to us. There's something called post-traumatic growth. Very few people know about it. Two people go through the same stress, one's destroyed, the other grows. What's the difference? The people that grow will not give up. They don't have any excuses. They find the way to break through whatever it takes. And when they do, three things happen. Number one, they realize who they really are and what they're capable of. They realize they're so much stronger than they thought they were. And number two, they deepen all their relationships. You want to know who really cares about you, who you love and who loves you? Go through some tragedy, go through some hard times. All your Facebook friends go away. Your real friends, your real family shows up for you and you show up for them. And it deepens your relationships. And the third thing happens, if you can push yourself through and break through whatever challenges life gives you, is each time you have a breakthrough, you get stronger. And it almost like builds a psychological immunity in you, where suddenly, all of a sudden, it's like stuff happens, and you know stuff's going to happen, and you're not scared of it anymore. Because after you've been through a stroke, after you've been through, losing the use of some of your body, your senses, after you lose a family member, and you break through to that, you get to the other side, it's like, give me your best shot, life. It's almost like there's this psychological immunity that says, I'm ready for whatever life will give me. I don't want challenges, but if they're here, I know I can handle them. That strength of spirit is what creates a sense of freedom and joy in life. And that strength of spirit basically comes from living a life where you are constantly and never-ending thinking a way to improve yourself and to help others. That's my mission, and if we can serve you again in the future, I hope you'll check us out. There's 3 ways you can continue to participate with us. You can come to an event, come have an experience with us live at a weekend at our Unleash the Power Within or our Date with Destinies. I think you'll find it's very different than just sitting here talking to you quietly, sitting in front of your computer screen. It's a rock and roll environment. It's like going to the ballpark and having one person sitting there talking to you versus being in the ballpark or the rock and roll concert, with 50,000. There's an energy and a power that comes from it. Second is there's immersion. Here we talk for an hour, there's distractions and emails. There it's total focus, and we go for immersion where literally what we did here over 6 weeks, few little conversations, all that happens over and over again, multiple times a day, and you get that shift. So come to an event or call up and get a coach. We have people that you can work with and have a free coaching session and make sure it's really valuable for you. But these are people that can check in with you to help make sure you break through, you make the changes you want to make in your career or your finances or your body or your emotions or whatever area matters to you. And finally, lastly, and probably most importantly, every day you got to feed your mind. Because every day most of us are turning on, some form of news. It shows up in our pocket, in our Blackberries or iPods or our iPhones, I should say. It shows up, on your computer constantly. It chases us, and it rarely does a good idea interrupt you. Really, what you have to do is pursue the ideas, pursue the experiences that are going to change your life. And we have a way to do it called net time, no extra time. A way where you can keep feeding your mind the stuff that really matters with some products or services. So if you're interested in any of those things, be sure to click on your interest of an event or interest in having a free coaching session, or maybe try one of our audio programs, because the other challenge here is with video, you got to sit here potentially and watch me, but with audio, you can do it while you're working out, you can do it while you're cleaning the house, you can do it while you're driving in the car, while you're getting to work. We'd love to continue serving you in any way we can. I know I've gone long in this session, but I really want you to think about, how can I get my life the way I want it to be? The way I do it is I figure out what my blueprint is and I update it for what life is. I change my life, match my blueprint, and suddenly my life feels full and alive. Thank you for the time that we spent together here. I've really enjoyed our time, and I hope that this breakthrough series reminds you to never settle for less than you can be. Never settle for less than you can give or you can share. Live strong, live with passion, and God bless.